Alright guys, in this video we will be tearing apart the Marlin 336 because I have some, not really issues, but you know, some people like to work on their guns, some people don't. Some people like to take them to people and let them work on them. I'm usually one of the people like to bring them to, especially when they've decided to do something and can't get it back together. But anyways, I'm wanting to strip this thing down and give it a good cleaning. Maybe polish up a few areas. Pretty crisp on the action, but it's kind of clunky. So I'll probably polish up a few of those parts. But the first thing we're going to do is take this scope off. So I'm not going to remove the rings. I'm just going to remove actually the whole bases. And I have 2 screws for these bases, and I will just loosen those up like so. And you know, most people would not want to do this a lot because it'll throw your scope off. I have a bore sighter and I don't mind shooting my guns to sight them back in, so that's not a problem for me. We'll just set the scope aside, put the little locking nuts on there. It is this model does have a railed top piece on it, so as long as I don't remove this all should stay intact, and it should be pretty close to zero when I put it back in. The next thing we're going to do, you know, of course, we're going to make sure it's empty. Change out my bits. We'll open up this about halfway like so. If you see, you have 1 screw here in the pivot. If you will remove that, sometimes you have to move it around a little bit to take a little pressure off of it. Take that out. It's just a small screw with very few threads in the end of it. You can do that without. We'll set that aside. With that aside, you can just slide your lever out of place. This is some of the parts that I will be polishing up. Any of the places where you see metal, contacted metal, places there's burrs. If you see, there's old grease, old factory grease still in this gun, which tells me nobody's really ever took it far apart. But now we want to take our bolt out, and to do so, if you'll see when you go to pull your bolt out, it's going to connect right here. I don't know if you can see that, where it connects the bottom of the bolt. As far as you can pull it out. If you'll take your thumb and hold that down, you can slide your bolt all the way out. We will set it aside and I'll show you how to disassemble so we can clean all that. And then once that's out, alright guys, I want to show you a little something. If you look up in here, if I can get that to focus, you'll see that little ejector. And if I can do it without knocking it out, it actually has a hole on this side of the receiver that it locates in. And if they get stuck, you can just take a brass punch and just push it through. You don't need to beat on it, just push it through by hand. But this one I'm sure is pretty loose because I have taken it apart before to remove it. You can just kind of ease up on it, and it has a channel. I don't know if you can see down in there. It has a little channel, and then your ejector actually has a hole, so your ejector actually sits down in that channel like so, where your leaf spring hits up against the recess in the receiver, and then this little jewel here locates in the hole on the other side. So we'll leave that at step 1 for the video, and then we'll go on to step 2.